of a shot of winning. We can beat anybody in the world, and I think we're going to win next Sunday.
And welcome back to the New York Jets Atlantic Flight podcast. It's been a while since we've been on. As you're probably aware, it's kind of the off season. We've had OTAs and all the rest of it going on. There's players making splashes and all the rest of it. And we will touch that later on when we have all the mandatory stuff that's coming up. But in the meantime, I want to introduce you. He's been on the show before, Matt Cullen. He is the founder of the JTT Cup. And if you want to know what the JTT Cup is and what it stands for and what it does, Matt is going to tell you. And if you can get involved in any way, it doesn't matter how little, it certainly matters how big, because size matters. But Matt will tell you all about that. Matt, how are you, my friend?
Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm really good and really pleased to be back on for the second time, and obviously talking about a cause and a competition that is close to my heart as well. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's absolute privilege. It's I've been supporting the Joshua Tarrent Trust. That's the JTT Cup for a little while myself. I think that's probably how we got introduced, actually. But I'm happy to support this, and it's such a worthwhile charity. Any sick children in the world is not a good thing. So anything that helps is a very, very positive thing. So tell us what's going on with the JTT Cup at the moment.
Yeah, of course. So I'll talk a little bit about the charity first. So the reason the competition is called the JTT Cup is it supports a charity, as you've already mentioned, called the Joshua Tarrent Trust. And the Joshua Tarrent Trust is a UK-based independent charity and set up by two incredible but bereaved parents in Sean and Denise Tarrant. So their son Joshua was diagnosed with a brain tumour aged 8, about 19 years ago, and unfortunately eventually passed away from the disease, brain tumours with brain cancer. And they set up the Joshua Tarrant Trust in his memory, but also to help fund care for other children with brain cancer and to support their families along that obviously very difficult journey. So they're based in the town, or near to the town that I live in. We're about 20 miles from Cambridge, and they fund care at Addenbrooke's Hospital, which is one of the top hospitals in the country in Cambridge. And because it's an independent charity, it's really, really important to me that we raise as much money as possible, because independent charities do, all charities do great work, but independent charities especially do fantastic work, especially set up off the back of such a tragedy for Sean and Denise. And seeing the strength that they've had to set up and continue to run this charity in their late son's name has been really inspiring. So that's the charity, and that's why I chose to support them through the medium of fantasy football.
That's where I came in. As I say, I think that's how we met. I think that's how we got started on this. But really worthwhile. I've been doing this. I am not a fantasy football person. So if you're one of these people like me, hasn't got a clue or anything about it, it is incredibly easy to get into. There are different leagues in fantasy football. But Matt does one. I think you do a few actually, don't you? But the one I'm in is best ball, which basically means, and everyone knows how to draft players. So you draft a team. So you need to pick a couple of quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and all the rest of it. You don't pick a defense. So you just basically pick players that you think are going to have a good season, are going to earn you a lot of points. And then that's all you do. And then the AI picks the best team for you every week, and you don't have to do anything. You just got to sit back and either enjoy your wins or not enjoy your losses. I perennially prop up the bottom of any league that I'm in. So if you do join, make sure you're in the league with me, and I guarantee you will not finish last. Mainly because I pick all Jets players in my team. So I even had Aaron Rodgers as my starting quarterback last year. That worked out well, didn't it? So how can people get involved, Matt?
So I guess there's three ways really. I mean, we draft in July, so the drafts this year start on the 19th of July. Officially, we kind of close down sign-ups and donations at the end of June. I do have a little bit of time between, when we close and when we draft, just to chase any few stragglers that we do get. As you said, it's a best ball competition. It's played on Sleeper, so it's really easy format, easy to get involved with. And in terms of getting involved, so the best place to find us is on social media. At JTT Cup on X or Twitter, depending on what you still call it. Also at JTT Cup on TikTok. And then we also have a website, which is jttcup.com. There's information there about what we do and why we do it, and kind of what we're aiming to raise this year, which is nearly £18,000. The reason it's that this year is it would bring our fundraising all time through these competitions since we started in 2021 to 50,000. So
Wow.
but it's actually just under 18. It's about 17,953, I think it is, to get to exactly 50k. And we're doing well. We're 91% of the way there. We've obviously only got 2 weeks to the end of the month. Anybody who's listening who would like to be involved, please drop us a message on those socials. Our pinned tweet on the JC Cup account has information of where you can sign up to play, and the sign up form itself has information of where and how you can donate. Donations are made directly to the charity. We don't handle anyone's money. And then obviously the charity benefits from that. You get to be involved in a big competition, which is a lot of fun. Put in a division with 9 other people, bit of banter throughout the season, and you never know, if you draft well, you might end up winning it.
And are there any prizes involved?
So we've got a few little prizes. So we have a guy in the UK, Scottish guy called Neil Elliott, who runs a company called 5 Star Imports, and he provides a trophy for me to the winner every year, free of charge, which is fantastic from him. And we also are lucky to have the largest and most well-known fantasy football competition in the world, which is called the Scott Fish Bowl, provides a place in the following year's Scott Fish Bowl to our winner. So the Scott Fish Bowl is an invite-only league. It has 4,000 people in it, but last year I believe he had 50,000 applications.
Oh, wow.
And it's invite-only. So if you win our competition, you get a spot in next year's Scott Fish Bowl. And we also set up a side competition. So there's 5 other UK-based best ball charity competitions. And 2 years ago, we set up the UK Best Ball Champions League. So the winners of those 6 competitions, including ours, get a 2-year entry into the Best Ball Champions League. So you can become the ultimate Best Ball UK champion against other competition winners. So that's the prizes. And, I will say a bit of prestige as well, because, last year we had 620 people in it, and it's one of the biggest competitions in the world now. So to win it against so many other like-minded fantasy players and Gus makes you
Yeah, right.
somewhat of a legend.
So what I will do as well, if you have problems finding links, I'm going to post this on Twitter. This podcast will be on Twitter, and all the links that you need for sign-ups and all the rest of it, they will be included in that. So if you could go along, click on the link and sign up. And how much does it cost to join?
So we essentially our stance has always been there's no minimum donation. So we do require a donation, but we do not set a minimum, because ultimately we wanted as many people as possible to be involved. Okay. Now there are some extremely generous people out there. But if people can, I say only in inverted commas, afford 10 quid or 5 quid or $12 or whatever it might be, if they're stateside, then, it all helps. The average donation this year is just over £21. But there are some really big donators in there, including one that's done over 350. We don't expect that, clearly, from everyone. But, if you're doing £10 to £15, that's a real help. And in terms of our target, we've got £1,600 left to go to 50k. So if I can find another 60 people doing 10, 12 quid each, that bumps half of that away. And then we've got some other little competitions we run during the season, like a NFL pick and pull and stuff like that, which will probably then get us to our target. So a long answer there, but no minimum. It's really donate what you can afford.
Yeah, absolutely. Emphasis on what you can afford. These are hard times for a lot of people. The cost of living and everything else is, especially this side of the pond, it is going up. It is astronomical. So charities, unfortunately, the world over, are all taking a hell of a knock at the moment. So if you can enter this competition and just give what you can afford, don't leave yourself high and dry, but it's a lot of fun. I have to say, I'm not the greatest fantasy football player, but I do enjoy this. The app, as Matt said, it's on Sleeper and you can download that. And then when the season starts, you'll get sent a link and you get entered into the league and you can see all the other people that you're with. And there's chat rooms in there where you can all take the mickey out of each other and brag if you want, wind people up. It's a lot of fun, and it's a community that's grown up, hasn't it? As the charity has made money, nearly 50 grand, so friendships have been made in this group as well, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, when I first started to organise it, it was actually during the 2020 COVID season in the October. I thought, the Joshua Tarrent Trust had been brought to my attention by a local friend who's also an NFL fan. And I thought, what can I do to help them? I'm a bit of a numbers geek. I like spreadsheets, so I can organise something fantasy football wise that I can put together for the 2021 season, and we got 60 people involved for 2021. We raised £765, and I was really, really pleased with that. And I never really thought about where it might go from there. But yeah, as you say, as the years have gone on and more people have got into it, we went from 60 people, and then the following 3 years, we had 250, then 440, and then 620, and we're looking at about that same number again this year. And of course, as the head count has grown, the raised amount has grown as well. So 2022 was £5.5 grand, and then it went to 10, and then last year was 15.5, and we've surpassed that this year already. So, it's probably 80 to 85% Brits. Last year we had 620 people, and 480 of those were UK based, UK and Ireland based. And then probably 100 from America, and then 40 dotted around the rest of the globe. So it's become truly international when you get to meet other NFL fans and other fantasy fans and have a bit of a laugh and a joke with them, especially, if they're divisional rivals fan or something like that. And, it tends to work really, really well. And people have got to know strangers, very well through this competition.
Yeah, and we met a few of those, didn't we? Because we travelled down to the London game last year, and we met quite a few people from the JTT. Obviously, you know them more than I do, but you made some introductions to me, people, and then we had our picture taken, a JTT Cup picture as well, which was fun. As I say, everyone that's involved in this, everyone's got the hearts in the right place, and it's just a lot of fun. And Matt's just said, the friendships that people have made doing this as well. What a nice thing. So doing a good thing results in a good thing as well. So it's win-win all around. It's a very good charity to be involved in, and I'm happy to be involved in it as well.
And we're happy to have you, mate. It's always good fun.
So I think that pretty much wraps that up with everything you need to know. As I say, I will post links for everything you need on my personal account and on the New York Jets Atlantic Flight podcast account as well. If you aren't following Matt, please give Matt a follow on Twitter, X, at Matt Cullen, or at Coo. Is it at Coo?
Coo84_FF. Yeah.
That's COO. Yeah. So give him a follow. If you didn't know, Matt is a Jets fan. Who would have thought that, eh? Who would have thought? But Matt is a Jets fan. I'm a Jets fan, obviously, because this is a Jets podcast. Who knew that either? So, Matt, I haven't spoken to you for a while about the Jets. So, we've got a new regime in place. We've got some new players in place as well. So, all the OTAs are going on. It is incredibly quiet, which is so unusual for the Jets. And at the moment, we're just looking at other teams having Jets type of problems, which is, It's weird. It's just really, really, quiet. Aaron Glenn's come in and he's instilled this new broom, if you like, within Florham Park. What are your thoughts on the Jets now at the moment? How do you feel?
I feel quite positive because coaching change was needed, regime change was absolutely needed, leadership change at obviously quarterback was absolutely needed, and we've had lots of conversations, haven't we, over the last few years
Oh yes.
about Mr. Rogers. This perennial cycle that we seem to be in as Jets fans, with optimism followed by a regular season of despair followed by optimism. It is happening again, but it feels a little bit different this time. And I feel like, we're not inside Florham Park. We're not seeing them day to day, but the little tidbits we do see from the Jets themselves and on social media just does appear to point to a different culture within the team and within the organisation. So, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think Glenn's the right person. I think you see some of the attitudes of some of the players have absolutely changed in the way they handle their socials and the way they're handling themselves. So I feel, like I say, cautiously optimistic about the season, and I like that there's not a lot of noise. So ever since Aaron Rodgers signed for nearly 2 years, it's been a media circus, hasn't it?
It has, yeah, and it got derailed. The funny thing is, it's come like full circle now, hasn't it? Because when Aaron Rodgers signed with us, whether you were on board with it or not, there were a large contingent of Packers fans saying, "Buyer beware, buyer beware, buyer beware," and we were going, "No, he's good, he's good," and he was like the model pro, he was saying all the right things, doing all the right things, and obviously 4 snaps in. Bosh, that put the kibosh on that. Who knows what that season would have turned out to be like. Iconic moment where he runs out with the Stars and Stripes. That will always be an iconic moment. That was sad that season, how that went. And then I don't think he really fully recovered. We saw that firsthand, the Minnesota game in London. He just looked shot to pieces. He looked every bit his 40 plus years of age. We'll not go down this rabbit hole of talking about Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, you're absolutely right. We did need a change. Who knows what we've got in Justin Fields? I think with the contract that he's got and everything, it's a win-win situation. If it doesn't work out, hey, he's gone in 2 years' time, or a year's time. It's a very, very team-friendly contract. I think it was 30 mil over 2 years, so it's not a great deal of money. Personally, I like what I've seen from Justin Fields. If you look at all his stats and everything, they, albeit very, very slowly, but he is getting better. Yes, he holds on to the ball a little bit too longer, but I think Aaron Glenn is going to play to his strengths and not try and fit him into a hole that he's not the right shape for. So I think we are going to see a lot of running game this year. We've got some good wide receivers from the OTAs. There's been a lot of obviously they're just playing in casuals, aren't they, with a helmet on? But you can't really take anything out from that. But from everything that we've seen on the OTAs, there's been some really positive stuff. Arian Smith, who apparently couldn't catch a ball, has actually been catching balls and looks incredibly fast. Quite often he's been outrunning the defense as well. So that's going to be super exciting to see. Are you going to the London game this year?
I am, yep. The old scramble for tickets, and I've said my piece on social media about that. I won't go into it, but yeah, I couldn't not go to the Jets. Unfortunately, the schedule gods have not been kind to me for my trip to New York in October this year. In the 2 weekends that I'm there is no home game. However, I'm looking forward to going to London, meeting up with yourself, and obviously lots of other Jets fans and lots of other, general fans and supporters of the JCC Cup as well. It's always nice meeting them in person as well. Really looking forward to the pre-game with the UK and Ireland Jets.
Big shout out, UK and Ireland Jets. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be anywhere else. Great event last year. Excuse me. So yeah, I think I'm a Jets fan. I don't expect us to win 12 games this season. I think anything close to 500 is probably realistic. But if it's positive steps, and if Glenn can show that he's the man going forward, then I think we should be happy with that this season.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think the players are going to give him 110% as well. He's an ex-Jet, he's an ex-player, and he wasn't just an ex-player. He was a blooming good player. He was an all-pro. So I think that resonates a lot, and the respect that he does have, especially with legendary coaches like Belichick, like Parcells. Everyone says the same thing about him. This guy is born to be a head coach, and that I think resonates a lot with the players. So I think he does have the players' ear. So that's going to be brilliant. I think you're right. If we could get to 500, that would be brilliant. I think that's probably the ceiling. I think the floor's somewhere in the region of about 5 to 6 wins. But I do think that we are going to surprise a few people in a couple of games. So we might have a couple of outlier games. So who knows? We could finish at 500. It'd be great to see. And I think, as most level-headed Jets fans, as long as we can see effort and people are trying and you can see progress, I think that's all you could really want this year, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been another tough 2 years. Some of it's our own doing, some of it was bad luck. Here's hoping to a bit of good luck and some hard work from everyone in the organisation, which just puts us on the right footing for the next, 3 to 5 years. That's really all we want to see, isn't it? Is heading in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. When you started off what you were saying, we just seem to be in this cycle of hiring coaches and then rebuilding, hiring coaches, rebuilding, and it's just never ending. I mean, we've been through the Gase era, we've been through the salary era. It's just like, when is this going to stop? Let's do this properly. Please do this properly. Of course, Woody got involved, which got exposed by The Athletic at the back end of last year. So I think that exposure with his meddling, I think that is probably going to restrict what he does, because people now know that he has been doing that. So I think there will always be an eye on him. So hopefully he leaves Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji alone to do their thing, rebuild this team how they see fit. And let's hope. Fingers crossed. We always live in hope. As Jets fans, that's all we've got. And talking of all we've got, that's all we've got time for. And this has been brilliant. I will reiterate, please, if you can, sign up for this competition and this fabulous cause as well, the JTT Cup, the Joshua Tarrent Fund. Please do so. And cheers, Matt. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers. And as always, everybody, go.
Y'all know what to say. On 3. 1, 2, 3.